Today we're going to be blending, and you're going to be completing a few blending exercises in order to practice your blending skills. First, in the top section, you're going to match a 5-value scale. You're going to start by matching the value on the bottom scale, scribble in the value, and blend it all the way through. When you are done blending, it should look super smooth. When it is smooth, that tells you that it's been properly blended. So first, you're taking your pencil, you're gonna start at the 1, which is gonna be our darkest value. You're gonna push down with the most pressure, and your lines are gonna be the closest together. As you move from left to right, you're gonna ease off the pressure, and there's gonna be more and more space between your lines. Okay? It's gonna look something like this. The trick here is that you use the cotton swab as your blending tool. When you use your fingers, it does blend pretty well, but it leaves oil in the paper, which makes it really hard to clean up any mistakes that you might make. So moving forward, we're gonna try to use tools to help us blend instead of using our fingers. So I'm gonna use my blending tool, and I'm putting down a pretty good pressure. And just like when I was drawing my lines, I'm gonna blend from left to right. You should be able to get the same effect with your blending tool, which is your cotton swab. And you're blending until it's nice and smooth. I used medium pressure for my first round. What I can do is I can go back with my pencil and do a second layer, because I didn't really achieve that darkness that I wanted. And I do the same thing as I go from left to right, less pressure and more space between the lines. Take my cotton swab, and one more time, have a second pass. And blend it, make it as smooth as possible. I think that's pretty good. For the next step of the exercise, you're gonna go back into what we learned throughout the week, and you're gonna create an example of each technique that is blended and not blended. So as your first example, we have hatching. So in my first box that is labeled not blending, I'm gonna use parallel lines to create a value. So I'm simply gonna fill in the box with parallel lines. In the second box, I'm gonna do the same thing using the same technique, only this time, I'm gonna go back in and I'm going to blend it. When you blend these, I want it to be kind of a mid-tone. A mid-tone is gonna be our 3 on the value scale. I haven't quite achieved a 3, so I'm gonna grab my pencil and I'm gonna do a second pass and do those lines again. This is putting more graphite from the pencil on the paper, which will help me get a better mid-tone for when I blend. Okay, looks pretty good to me. For the next section, we're gonna cross hatch, which is just like hatching, only now we're using parallel lines and perpendicular lines. I'm gonna do it in both boxes, and my second box is going to be blended. Okay, next I'm going to go to stippling. This one's not quite dark enough yet, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to do bigger dots this time. Last but not least, we have scumbling. All right, and now you'll notice how you can see the different values created by the different blending techniques of using hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, or scumbling. Finish this worksheet, you'll know you're done when it looks just like mine. If you have any questions, raise your hand. If you finish early, you can free draw. You can go back to your skull drawings from yesterday and continue your scumbling exercises, or you can go on to sketch.io.